Welcome to the Daily Allegory through astrological divination. Imagine a world where somebody is viewed in such a pristine manner that they are capable of running smear campaigns about anyone for anything, and without hesitation or question, everybody in the community listens and follows suit. In a quiet town, a seemingly devout young woman fabricates a lie about contracting an STD. Pinning the blame on an innocent man she secretly wants dead for a payout from a hidden benefactor. Her saintly image masks a darker truth. She's a drug-addicted escort tied to a covert satanic cult that masquerades as a Christian network, climbing its ranks by trading favors and betrayal. But when her chosen target survives the poisoning attempt and exposes fractures in her story, the hired assassin discovers her deception, her exploitation of him, and the corruption beneath the façade. In a shocking reversal, the hitman Defects saves the intended victim and dismantles her scheme, turning her carefully constructed illusions into her own collapse in one spiraling psychological twist after another. This is the story of the false witness versus the dark horse. I wonder if that term means anything to anyone or a collective of people on or off the dark web, the dark horse. Hopefully your bets were on that one. So our story starts with a girl named Belle. Belle was the town's angel, choir girl, prayer circle leader, charity organizer, the girl whose tears could soften the sheriff and whose smile could make the pastor forget the sermon notes. When she whispered that she had contracted an STD from Stephen, the quiet mechanic who kept to himself, the town gasped in horror. Mercury conjunct Lilith in her 12th house begins her deception disguised as innocence, shadows tucked behind lace and scripture. Police officers avoided Stephen's eyes. Families whispered behind curtains. Stephen's business and ability to maintain began to be shriveled. And Belle watched, trembling with fabricated hurt, knowing she was one step closer to her payday. She wasn't confessing a sin, she was planning a target. But Stephen wasn't her first. Her moves were so clean. It was as if she had done this many, many times before. Belle's sweet facade masked a world built in back rooms, stained hotel carpets, cryptic coded text messages, and encrypted accounts wired through offshore servers. She was the property of the Covenant, an elite escort network disguised as a Christian charity circle, communion by day, ritual by night, where favors weren't free and debts were collected in blood or silence. Her affliction, we'll call it, was part of a contract, a hit marked by a payout contingent upon Stephen's removal. The man who hired her, known only as Bishop, believed Stephen carried information that could expose the cult's trafficking network. It's as if this person was carrying very imperative information. And if this story is in any way euphemistic, I can only imagine the amount of information this gentleman contains, knows, and or has verifiable proof of. Belle convinced the town Stephen corrupted her. Bishop arranged a hit then. The assassin was known as Ace, a ghost from the south, from Georgia. Mercury trine Saturn in the 7th was the elegance and leverage used in relationships, contracts crafted in whispers. But something strange awakened the night that he stalked Stephen through the alleyway. A flickering in the streetlights, voices in the head, warnings from an unseen realm. Stephen didn't beg. He offered him truth. Stephen revealed the encrypted drive. One Belle didn't know that he had. Proof. Proof that Belle wasn't just a victim, but a predator, embedded in 3 states worth of blackmail, trafficking, and ritual coercion. Mercury trine Jupiter in the 6th is the truth served as remedy in revelation. Ace hesitated. The hit failed. And Belle began to panic. That's when the rumors of her saintliness began to crack. Missing church funds, mysterious men at her apartment, pill bottles without prescriptions. Some in her apartment, some recovered from her garbage by righteous authorities, all with trace residues inside of them. Someone followed her to the motel, a woman she owed money to, a handler from the Covenant. Mercury opposition Uranus in the 8th led to her exposure, rebellion, and a forced awakening. As her world closed in, Belle reached for increasingly frantic tactics, seducing officers, forging documents, leaking fake confessions from Stephen himself. But then Ace switched sides, and this is where it gets interesting. Ace, the hitman, decided to deliver evidence to the authorities. Stephen walked into the town hall alive. Belle's father fainted in the pews, her mother vomited behind the altar, and Belle, she laughed. A jagged, hysterical peal because she always believed that she was untouchable, above the law, superior to everyone else around her. Mercury concocts Chiron, though, was the wound that can't be lied away, a disorder in perception and consequence, a true pattern behind the underlying dissociative disorder and behavior, all groomed from childhood. The escort ring was raided, the cult was exposed. Belle's Christian circle turned on her. Her STD wasn't divine punishment, it was collateral from the world that she lived in. Well, her double life. The final twist here, Ace didn't betray her because he suddenly became a good guy. He betrayed her because she had tried to scam him too. Belle had offered him a cut of Bishop's payout, but planned to poison him afterward, to erase a witness and cut all loose ends. Ace found a vial before it hit, though. Stephen walked free, and Belle was dragged past him, screaming about demons and destinies. Outside the courthouse, Stephen murmured to Ace, "You didn't save me. You saved yourself." Ace smiled. Same difference. Belle sat behind glass, rocking, rosary in hand, whispering prayers to a God she never even believed in, because this time, nobody was coming to save her. She was, for the first time in her entire life, cold, alone, and forgotten. Exactly how she subjected her prior victims in their isolation before termination. We're going to wrap this up with an invocation of the Crimson Veil. O powers who walk before a sky and marrow, hear the summons of truth unveiled. Babylon, scarlet mother of sovereignty, you who drink falsehood and turn it into revelation, stand in the threshold and ignite the wine of justice. Ishtar, queen of gates and lovers and wars, whose descent breaks the arrogance of kings. Open the 7 seals of deception and drag forth what festers. Morgan, shadow crow who cries before battle, watcher of betrayal and oath breakers, circle above and name the hidden rots. Inyana, rise from the underworld crowned with truth, teach us to see through painted sanctity and counterfeit halos. Neath, weaver of destiny and unweaver of lies, cut the fabric stitch to harm the innocent, respin fate where corruption thought itself to be immortal. Eris, holy disruption, keeper of the apple that reveals hypocrisy, scatter discord among those who prey upon the weak, let their alliances crumble against themselves. O Greek moroi, spinners of thread and severers of hubris, measure the works of deceivers and weigh them against their fate. Manitau, spirit of breath and river memory, whisper through wind and bone. Nothing done in shadow escapes consequence ever. Lakshmi, radiant giver of true prosperity, let wealth stolen by exploitation collapse and abundance return only to the rightful. Lasarine, velvet voiced tide singer, drown false power under waves of reflection. Lift the voices silenced by corruption and pull truth to the surface like pearls from the depth. And to every witness spirit and every ancestral keeper, to every unseen guardian who stands at the gate of justice, let your gaze fall upon the halls where secrets fester. Let pretenders tremble under the weight of what they have forged. We do not call for vengeance, but for reckoning. For mass to fall, for manipulation to dissolve, for falsity that devours community to consume itself. By the currents of truth, by the law of return, by the inexorable turning of consequence, let deception face the mirror, and let the mirror refuse to shatter. So the story is seen, so the reckoning begins, so the truth rises, unburning. With the divine authority I contain, let these words be spoke as whispers of declarations underlying the law of the law. And so it is.